When I stood up is when I really noticed that it wasn't, oh, I've got a little bit of a headache because I woke up in the middle of a sleep cycle. It was, I feel like I'm being stabbed in the eyeball. I can't hold my eye open because it hurts worse to have light hitting it. Um, you know. So I know the fan is really loud in the background, but I really don't care. It's after 5 o'clock in the morning. And the only reason I have the light on in here is because I fell asleep with it on. But, I think the reason I woke up, besides my body being cracked, besides the fact that my body's used to being awake by 6 and so hearing an alarm by now, I have a lot of pain behind my eye, going back along the side of my head and into my forehead. Like, it's not swollen shut or anything, I'm just holding it shut because it's better. But I'm gonna I just took medicine. I'm gonna turn the light off and go back to sleep. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm still in bed. I just woke up like maybe 10 minutes ago. But I think I'm like functionally awake now. My head, when I woke up at 5 something, was probably at like a level 6 or 8. And then I, took some naproxen before I filmed. I got up to go pee, came in here, took my medicine, and then sat down and recorded, and then for a minute, and then turned the light off, rolled over, and went to sleep. But yeah, so like I still have some pain, but it's down to like a level 3, maybe a 4. So basically what I count that as, and I'm like sitting here bouncing my hand apparently, I'm sorry guys. What I count a level 3 or 4 is if I move my head too quickly, it hurts. If I cough, it hurts. And like if I hold my head a certain way, or like I try to focus too hard on something, it hurts. But that's functional pain. So I think I'm going to be able to like actually get up and go to breakfast and do my laundry and stuff. I'm lucky I was able to go back to sleep for about 4 hours, so I ended up getting about 9 hours of sleep. I think part of my trigger with this migraine was irregular sleep, because there's been nights this week that I've gotten less than 5 hours and nights that I've gotten more than 6, so I've got to work on my sleep. But yeah, so I'll be back with an update soon. So I know this isn't a great angle, but I don't have tripod yet for my phone, and I'm usually holding it, but I need my hands free for caffeine. So I know I said a minute ago that I'm at a much more functional level. This is what functionality looks like for me with head pain. So I don't know if you can tell with my eyes, but my eyelids are a little droopy. That happens especially on the eye that hurts worse. So I don't know if I mentioned it. I've not really gone back to watch the clips that I recorded earlier, so I might end up re-editing, or when I am editing, reshooting this part. But so when I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning, I think it was about 5:20 honestly, because I woke up and I noticed my head was hurting. And then when I stood up and like was facing the light because I fell asleep, where's my lamp? I fell asleep with my lamp that's behind me on. Because I was awake, asleep. As it tends to happen. So when I woke up at 5 with my lamp on, I thought, first of all, that my first thought was that, oh, my body is just really used to me being awake by 6 o'clock. And my body's really used to hearing an alarm going off at 5 o'clock. And so I woke up. But I also had to use the bathroom. So when I stood up is when I really noticed that it wasn't, oh, I've got a little bit of a headache because I woke up in the middle of a sleep cycle. It was, I feel like I'm being stabbed in the eyeball. I can't hold my eye open because it hurts worse to have light hitting it. You know. So I ended up like stumbling to the bathroom through the dark, which luckily I have lived in this house for the past 3 years of school. And so I know this house like the back of my hand. I can get through this house blindly, no problem. Now finding things, a little bit of a problem, but getting from room to room is not a problem with my eyes closed, which is what I did because we do keep the hallway light on, because otherwise it's just pitch black through the house. So, and the hallway light is, I think they might be LED floodlights. They were fluorescent floodlights, but I think it might be LEDs now. But regardless, it's a very bright, very white light in the hallway. So I made it to the bathroom, used the bathroom, came back to my room immediately before I even sat down to film, because while I was in there, I was like, in the 2 seconds I was in the bathroom, I went, I'm going to film this. So I get back to my room again blindly, and I take my medicine, which luckily right now it seems that over-the-counter naproxen is helping. It changes from pain to pain. Sometimes naproxen helps, sometimes ibuprofen helps, sometimes nothing except a triptan helps. Sometimes triptans don't even help and I have to go to the hospital. It just depends. Luckily, knock on wood, I haven't had to go to the hospital in 3 years with a migraine. So, I've also not been using my triptans for probably 3.5 years. So, anyway, so I got back in here, took my medicine, and then sat down and filmed for like literally 1.5 minutes. And then turned the light off. So and this is important, I feel like. So when I have migraines that are specifically one-sided, because sometimes I'll actually, and that's a hallmark of migraines, it's one side or the other. Normally mine are over here on my right side. Today it's over here on my left side, which I've noticed I've been having some trouble with my ears. I've been having a lot of drainage because of the weather, so I think that's contributing. But when I wake up with pain on the opposite side that I was sleeping on, so I was sleeping on my right side when I woke up, but the pain was on my left side. So when that happens, I try to sleep on that side to kind of add counter pressure, because I've noticed, because if I've not told you all before, I have something called pseudotumor cerebri. It's an elevation of your cerebrospinal fluid pressures that causes your brain to believe that you have a tumor because there's excess pressure in your head, so it thinks there's something there when really it's just something that's supposed to be there is an excess. So because my migraines are pressure related, I can usually tie a scarf around my head. I can sit and just push on my head to relieve some of that pressure. It's just counter pressures. So I laid on my left side, fell asleep, slept for 4 hours straight. Maybe not straight. I think I woke up at 8:30, and then I woke up again at 9:30, and then at 9:30 I was awake. So when I woke up at 9:30, I was at a functional level of pain, which is when I filmed the other bit. And like I said in there, functional for me means I can move around without too much pain. I can look at things without feeling like I need to claw my eyes out. I'm not as light sensitive. So this morning was really weird also because I was very light sensitive. Normally I'm not light sensitive. That could have been because it was the middle of the night, so everything just seemed brighter. But now that I'm awake, the sun is out, I'm not as photosensitive. However, I am trying to keep my lamps off in my bedroom just to kind of help. But I can go out into the house with the other lights on and it not be a big deal. So I'm not as light sensitive. I can turn my head like normal, but not too fast. Like if I whip my head around, which I'm not going to do, A, it makes me really dizzy, and B, it causes a pain spike. Basically, I can do things without too much. Like, I have pain there. I have a baseline level of like a 3 or a 4 right now, which means I can do most activities with some slowing down. However, if I cough, if I sneeze, if I do anything like that, that's going to put pressure, if I bear down at all, basically, if I tighten my core and like just bear down, it's going to cause a pain spike to about a 6 or a 7, which is about what the initial pain was. So that's how I know the migraine's not gone. I've just gotten down to a level I'm comfortable with functioning at. So right now, because I just took medicine about 4 hours ago, and it's a 12-hour medicine, or I guess now 5 hours. Basically, I still have to wait 7 or 8 hours until I can take it again. So I'm drinking a big cup of coffee. And then I'm also going to feed the migraine here in a little bit. I'm going to go to the cafeteria and have brunch and see if eating doesn't help. I'm not having any nausea or anything, so that's reassuring. That means I'll be able to get to eat today. But yeah, so I will update you all if there are any changes. So I really shouldn't be home right now. I should be in class. But we've got a migraine trying to set in. So, on my way home from field this afternoon, or this morning, about 11:30 or so, while sitting on the bus, I lost hearing. Not totally lost it, but like very diminished hearing in my left ear, and it's been ringing ever since. And normally when that happens, it's just that fast. Like, it goes away for 30 seconds, rings real loud, then comes back. And that has to do with the pressure differentials in my head with my medical condition. So normally I lose my hearing, it comes back pretty quickly. It's after 2 o'clock. My ear's still ringing. I sat through an hour and a half long class with my ear ringing louder than the teacher speaking. So I could only halfway hear. I feel like I've got cotton stuffed in my ear right now. And because of the pitch of the ringing, I'm starting to get a migraine, which that can be kind of a precursor to my migraines, especially if I don't notice at first that the pressure is weird. So left ear is ringing, right temple is hurting, and it's like here and then back. So, and I got nauseous in class, which I didn't get sick. It could have been too much sweet, but I think it's more related to the migraine symptoms. And I've had vertigo off and on. I had it during class really bad. Like, the room would start spinning all of a sudden, and it would stop after a few minutes. But I ended up emailing my counseling professor and telling her, hey, I'm sorry, I know it's like 10 minutes until class, but I'm not gonna make it. So I just got home. I've taken all of my jewelry off except my rings. I'm going to take some pain medicine. I'm gonna hope that I start feeling better before my evening class. Even if I'm not feeling better before my evening class, I'm still going to do it because I can do it from the comfort of home. But I'm hoping that it's better enough that I feel up to going out for dinner in the cafeteria instead of having to eat what I have here for the next 2 days. So I guess the migraine vlog is extending now.